I've lived with my dad my entire life. He married my mom when I was 2 and she's all but adopted me, a teen female. My bio-mom lives about 5 miles away with her husband and their kids, a female tween and a male pre-tween. I don't live with her, never have and probably never will. I visit her once a month, but we both know she's not my mom. I've called her by her first name since I was about 5. I don't have a room or bed at her house, and there are no pictures of me there. My bio-mom talked me into going to some family party with her and her family. I didn't know anyone there, so I mostly just hung out with her while I was there. She started telling everyone about how I never see her, and it took an act of God to get me to go to this party. So I told her to show them my room. She tried to show them her daughter's room, so I said, "No, that's Amanda's room. See the A by her bed?" After that, she was out of rooms because it was only a 2-bedroomed house. She pulled me aside and said to stop and that I was making her look bad, so we went back and I told her siblings that I wasn't allowed to talk about not having a bed at her house anymore because it made her look bad. That wasn't good enough either because she tried telling me to give her my phone because I was being rude. I reminded her that she wasn't my mom, then called my mom and told her to pick me up. My mom picked me up and she's really mad at my bio-mom for all of this. My dad says it sucks, but I should have taken it since I'm probably never going to see these people again. I'm not in trouble, but they can't agree whether I was right or wrong. So I wanted to know if I was the idiot for telling my bio-mom's family that I don't visit because I don't have a bed there. I know bio-mom doesn't want me to visit, she just wants to complain that I never do to her family. Not the idiot, she wanted to put up a facade about your relationship with her guests. You showed them the truth. You didn't make her look bad, she made herself look bad. If she didn't want to feel embarrassed, she could have 1. Not brought it up to her guests, 2. Done the bare minimum of getting you an air mattress for your visits, 3. Bought bunk beds or a Murphy bed. Maybe tell her you won't do overnight visits or just avoid visits until she makes some actual effort in your relationship. Bio-mom, why won't you let me sound like a long-suffering mother who can never get her beloved daughter to visit? Sure, maybe I speak poorly of you and the people you love as an excuse, but what about me? OP was expected to be nothing more than a prop at that gathering. Fortunately, she has a wonderful mom who actually cares about how she feels and stands alongside her with unwavering support. For sure, I would bet my entire next paycheck. Bio-mom is a textbook narcissist. This screams narcissism to me. Sweetie, but why would you keep in contact with your bio-mom if she doesn't even treat you like her own daughter? I'd go no contact. You have a father and mother, your family is complete. Shake the egg donor and her family off your shoes like dust and live your best life with your family that loves you. Exactly, give me a break. Your bio-mom is downright despicable. She complains you don't spend enough time with her, and yet she dares not to provide you with a bedroom. Not to mention there isn't a single picture of you in the house. OP, you are absolutely not the idiot, but you and your parents will be absolutely raging idiots if you continue to have this rude, selfish woman in your life. Time to go no contact and move on, like yesterday. Last week, 4 of my children and I moved into a 4-bedroomed house. There are 5 of us and only 4 bedrooms. My teenage sons share a bedroom. They are Mark, a male near adult, and Josh, a young male teen. My tween daughter Mia, myself, and 27-year-old autistic son Tom have our own rooms. The boys had shared a bedroom all their lives until last summer when my 22-year-old daughter moved out and one of them took her room. Now that we've downsized, they're unhappy about sharing a room again. The house has 2 bedrooms and a bathroom upstairs. One of the bedrooms is tiny and my daughter's room, the other is mine, so we can share the same bathroom. There are also 2 bedrooms and a bathroom downstairs. One is around the same size as my bedroom and the other is 5 feet wider. The smaller bedroom is still decent, with enough room for 2 double beds and the rest of their furniture. Ultimately, I decided to give my teens the smaller bedroom for a few reasons. Mark is a senior in high school and will be going to college in the fall, at which point Josh will have the room mostly to himself other than during school breaks. Tom has a part-time job and pays me $150 monthly rent. He also spends more time at home in his room than his younger brothers. I plan on getting him a couch and a TV set up so he can have his own living space in the room. My teens are very active and have never spent much time hanging out in their rooms, even when they each had their own. Although Josh doesn't see his dad, Mark does. He has his own room at his dad's house, and although he spends more time at my home, he still stays with his dad somewhat frequently. Despite all the reasons I've listed, the teens have expressed that they're unhappy that they have been given the smaller room. They think they should have gotten the bigger room because there are 2 of them. Josh is the most annoyed of the two and is texting his older sister complaining. She talked to me about it, took their side, and suggested I play favourites by giving their older brother the bigger room. I understand their argument, but I also don't think a few extra feet of space is going to heal their frustration about sharing a room again. I'm willing to listen to criticism about this and possibly change things around. Am I being the idiot, and should I switch their rooms before my oldest son gets too settled? You are the idiot. I think you missed the major wrong in your thinking. Consider this. The larger room should go to the two teens because they share a room and an even smaller space together. Your adult son, being only single here, can surely take the smaller room as he will get privacy either way. Giving your younger sons more space will hopefully lessen their frustration at having to share. And as far as giving your adult son a couch, a TV setup, and that whole shebang, you are favouring him over the younger two. He doesn't need that. It was a bad move. Switch them. I agree. If the eldest son paid genuine rent other than a pittance, I could see the argument that he gets priority. Unless he's buying his food, which I doubt, this isn't covering his living there. If he's working, he should be able to cover $500 in rent, his own food, his own phone, and his car and insurance. He doesn't pay genuine rent or groceries, so I can't argue for him getting priority. Info: so you had 5 people in a 5-bedroom house. Why the heck would you downsize? Everything was perfect. My older daughter was paying a significant share of the rent from when she was 19 until she moved out. I tried to keep paying it on my own for the last 7 months, but I was struggling. Especially since October, as I haven't received any child support from the dad of my youngest two since then. On top of that, the landlord at our old place was useless. The house had so many issues that he was never going to fix. The new house has some other upsides, including a bigger yard, which the boys will use a lot of. So your 22-year-old daughter has been paying a significant share of the rent since she was 19, while the 27-year-old bro was doing what? You need to be charging your 27-year-old more than just a pittance. You are the idiot. You're playing favourites. Just because your son is autistic doesn't mean he needs a bigger room with a TV setup all to himself with a rent discount. It's a great way to show your other kids you never prioritise them over him. My husband and I have an infant daughter who hates my mother-in-law. Every time she comes over, my daughter screams to high heaven and doesn't stop until my mother-in-law is out of view. My daughter doesn't do this when it comes to literally anyone else. My husband thinks it's because his mom doesn't come over often enough. She's here no less than once a week, but usually 2 times a week, and no one comes over as often as she does. Everyone else has only met our daughter at most twice. His opinion is not valid here. Not because I don't respect his opinion, of course, but because she is here often and my daughter still hates her. My daughter has met my mother twice and she basically wrestles to get out of my arms to get to her and smiles and giggles the entire time. She truly just doesn't like my mother-in-law. I personally cannot stand when my mother-in-law comes over anymore. My husband and his mom try forcing a bond by passing my daughter to mother-in-law and having mother-in-law rock her and try to soothe her as she's holding her breath and screaming the entire time. But it really set my irritation in stone when my mother-in-law said today, "Cry all you want, you won't get your way. I don't play that game," and walked out of the room as my daughter reached for me. I instantly took her back and said, "No, you're mistaken. I don't play the game you are playing." I told them both that from now on, the second my daughter starts screaming, she is to be passed back to me. I am no longer allowing this "we need to force a bond" BS. Before my mother-in-law left today, my husband said, "Maybe you should come by more often, even when I'm at work, because the more my daughter sees you, the more she will recognize you and the bond will happen eventually." I stepped in and said I'm not okay with that. His mother is here often enough and I don't want anyone here when he's at work. Not only is it my downtime, but it's also when I'm working. I work from home and I don't want anyone here. My husband said, "Yeah, but she could help you by watching the baby while you work." I told him it doesn't help me to listen to my baby scream bloody murder, actually, and once again, it's not happening. She can stick to her usual of coming over when he's here, and that's it. He says I'm purposely ruining the chance of a bond between his mom and baby. I'm doing no such thing, though. She doesn't like her, and having her coming here more often than she already does will just mean that my baby is going to be screaming a lot more. Am I the idiot? Edit. My mother-in-law is a good woman. I've always gotten along with her and always bragged to people that I lucked out because I don't have a toxic relationship with her like all the other people I know have with their mothers-in-law. My daughter is not feeding off my dislike for my mother-in-law. She has never disliked her. I don't know why, but it doesn't change the fact that my daughter screams every time she sees her. I am irritated with my mother-in-law's presence now, but only because she sees my daughter holding her breath and screaming and refuses to get out of her face and continues to try and force my daughter to accept her. It still doesn't make me hate my mother-in-law, but it does make me dread her coming around the baby. My husband's suggestion that she can come here to help me by watching the baby while he's working would quite literally do the opposite of help. I won't allow my daughter to scream like that, and I won't get any work done. Not the idiot. What on earth is this forcing a bond nonsense? Has that ever worked for anyone? Maybe your husband can take the baby to work and his mom can visit him there. Let them see how fruitful this is for the relationship and how it really ramps up your husband's productivity. Mother-in-law is trying to relive her motherhood instead of just backing off and acting like a normal human being. You cannot force a baby to like someone. Babies are like cats. They gravitate toward the people who ignore them. LOL. I never force myself on babies. I always hold back, smile, talk expressively, offer something to play with, which often works. Exactly. When my niece was born, she would cry when I would try to hold her. So guess what? I didn't hold her. Once she was past that baby phase, I could play with her and we developed a super strong relationship. Her parents say I get more info out of her than both of them combined at this point, teenager. Mother-in-law needs to chill out, don't take it personally, and meet baby the way baby wants to be met. My fiancé, male 23, and I, female 21, have been together for 8 years. During the Christmas holidays, he took me on a trip to Aspen and proposed to me. Clearly, we're on cloud nine with this huge milestone in our lives, so I'm wondering if maybe what I'm doing is wrong or staining something that should be a happy memory. The thing is that my fiancé has a sister, the same age as me. We went to school together, but we weren't friends. When my fiancé and I started dating, for some reason, she started spreading lies about me, like saying I was bullying her at school or spreading rumors about me and her brother. She claimed she wasn't the one to say those things, but I know it was her. So yeah, we never really had a good or close relationship, and I can say that it's impacted my fiancé's relationship with her as well. Now I have to choose who will help me with my bridal party and wedding planning. I have my own sister, one of my cousins, some friends, and my fiancé's other little sister, 18, as bridesmaids, but I actively excluded his other sister. When she found out about it, she said she was sick of me always being so petty and such a drama queen. I told her that she'd get an invitation to our wedding, but that, to be honest, I didn't want to spend more time than necessary with her. I'm not close to her and do not want to make her a bridesmaid. She said that I was acting immature because this is stuff that supposedly happened when we were in school, and she said again that she didn't, and I never bothered to ask for her side. I told her whatever, it's my wedding, and I can do whatever I want, along with other things. Some people didn't like my response either. But what has me wondering if I was an idiot here is because I was thinking about it. I am an adult and I'm ready to take a big step like marriage with my fiancé, but she called me immature and it stayed with me, you know? I'm wondering if it's time to be the bigger person and start over, which would make my decision here immature and idiot-like. She will always be my husband's sister, my children's aunt, will be an official family now, so I don't know exactly what the saying is, but it's like extending an olive branch. However, I also feel entitled to have those who I truly want as my bridesmaids. I feel that's my right, as I'll only get married once, and I want it to be perfect for me. And that vision of perfect doesn't include her as a bridesmaid. For clarification, the rumours she started about were not just when we were 13. They were all throughout our school years until we graduated. She accused me of bullying her before any of the rumours started. Her parents went to our school to talk with our teachers, and they told them that I wasn't bullying their daughter, she was just lying for some reason. I would love for my wedding day to be perfect. I know that perfect doesn't exist, but the closest to it at least, because this is going to be one of my happiest memories. But I understand this is just one day and what's important is marriage. That's why I was wondering if extending the olive branch was the right move here, because I could make sure, or at least do my part, to have a good relationship with my sister-in-law for the rest of our lives. My fiancé agrees with me because he isn't close to his sister. I'm close with his little sister, that's why she's a bridesmaid. So she's claiming you bullied her in school, so why does she even want to be a part of your wedding party? The people standing up in the bridal party are the people closest to the bride. If she claims you bullied her, you two are not close by her own admission, as well as yours. She's full of crap and entitlement. You're not the idiot. I disagree. OP's the idiot. She wants to be a part of OP's wedding party because OP is marrying her brother, and she wants to be in her brother's wedding. I don't blame OP for not wanting her as a bridesmaid, but this is going to cause drama and put a dark cloud over the wedding. A good solution would be for OP's fiancé to ask both his sisters to be groomsmen and to stand on his side. Why would that be a good solution? Besides the fact that he's got his wife-to-be's back on this, as he should, her fiancé isn't close to the sister either, and he doesn't have a good relationship with her either. She will be in the wedding, but not as a bridesmaid or groomswoman. OP, the one who needs to let it go and be the bigger person, is your fiancé's sister, not you. You have set an appropriate and reasonable boundary. You're not trying to stick it to her. You're just trying to enjoy your own wedding, for crying out loud.